Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well. This is Lifestyle Critic, where we break down movies and TV shows into their core elements, and in this video we are going to be reviewing Lupin, which is a brilliant French mystery thriller series on Netflix that follows the adventures of lead character Assane Diop, who is very inspired by Master of Disguise Arsene Lupin, or Lupin, however you want to pronounce it. Now, the series contains 10 episodes split into two parts. Obviously, the first part has just been released, which we are going to be reviewing now, but I'm also going to be doing some predictions on part 2 later on in this video. Now, each episode within the first part, 5-part series, was absolutely brilliant. It felt like a bit of a mini movie which contained trickery, deception, and misdirection, with plenty of twists and turns in there throughout, which was absolutely brilliant. I was literally hooked onto this series and I cannot wait to break it down for you in this video review. So from a storyline point of view, you're following the journey of lead character Assane Diop as he's trying to clear the name of his father, who was wrongfully framed for stealing a necklace 25 years ago, which then tragically led the character to kill himself while he was in jail. You find out a lot more clues as you go on across all of the different episodes. The first episode was an absolute banger, very similar to Ocean's 11, where a group of characters go on a very elaborate heist mission whilst there is an auction going on at the Louvre where they try to steal a 25 million euro necklace, which is just absolutely brilliant. All of the twists and turns, all of the final reveals, all of the actual heist scenes, everything about the first episode was absolutely brilliant. In the second episode, we then go to jail with the Assane Diop character as he tries to infiltrate himself into the jail situation. The way he gets out of jail is absolutely brilliant as well. But he does this so that he can find out a lot more information from his dad's cellmate, so that he can put more of the clues together for what actually happened to his father. The third episode sees him kidnapping the commissioner at the time so that he can find out what was the actual motives and the truth about the framing situation that happened all those years ago. Episode 4 sees him team up with a journalist that also has a bit of a grudge against the lead villain, the Pellegrini character, and the two of them form a brilliant duo. And then the final 5th episode sees him being pursued on a train where he has to try to get out of that situation along with his family. The way that he uses all the trickery, misdirection, and all of that sort of arsenal at his disposal is absolutely brilliant, and is truly one of the things that makes this series very iconic and very unique. So from a cast and characters point of view, because of the fact that this series is set in France, it's already got this brilliant sophistication to it, and all of the cast and characters really do bring this out really brilliantly in this series. So let's go through them one by one. So first up we have Omar, who we all know as playing Bishop from X-Men Days of Future Past, and he does such a good job in terms of bringing the Assane Diop character to life. He really is a master of illusion and goes on these very elaborate heist missions to find out the truth about what happened to his dad and why, and so that he can try to clear his name, whilst also being a dad himself, which is another really interesting aspect of the Assane Diop character. We then have Assane's father, who is a really nice character that unfortunately just got betrayed by his employer in the most tragic way, and then ultimately took his life, which is just really sad. We then have Herve Pellegrini, who's a really evil and ruthless character who will literally do anything he can to stay being rich and famous, which is really evil. We then have his daughter Juliette, who the Assane character had a little bit of an affair with. We then have Claire, who's his current wife and mother to his son Raoul. The two of them are separated, but in the final episodes they're kind of exploring whether or not they'll go back together again. We then have the police officers who are on Assane's trail, kind of piecing all of the clues together about what he's doing, especially when he's on TV, which is an absolutely brilliant scene. So all of the police officers are trying to piece all of the clues together themselves as well. We then have the journalist that was in episode 4, which is having a little bit of a team up with the Assane character, which is absolutely brilliant. And then finally we have Assane's friend, his friend from private school, that is kind of helping him along the way as well. So from a cast and characters point of view, this show is absolutely awesome. So from a visuals point of view, like I said earlier, this is predominantly set in Paris and wider France as well, which just looks absolutely awesome. All of the set pieces look really cool. It's very action centric in this show, very fast paced. From the first episode, you're straight in there with the action jumping straight into all of the high situations, which is really, really cool. Well, the first episode is definitely the grandest in terms of trying to steal this necklace. The other episodes have been great as well from a visuals point of view. So for example, there's another episode where you have to see Assane trying to escape the police officers while on a bike in a park in France, which is absolutely brilliant. So from a visuals point of view, this series is absolutely brilliant. So from a comparison point of view, whilst Lupin definitely has its own style and identity, I think you can definitely compare it to Sherlock Holmes, to Hustle, and to Jonathan Creek in terms of, you're kind of with these characters on a bit of an adventure, and at the end you kind of have a final reveal that puts all of the pieces together, which is absolutely brilliant. I think the first episode as well can definitely be compared to Ocean's 11 in terms of a band of characters working together to carry out a bit of a theft and a heist type situation. So from a comparison point of view, this series is also absolutely brilliant. Now, I absolutely love the first part of Lupin, and here are my predictions about what's going to happen in the second part, which I already cannot wait to be released, which will be released in the summer. So my first prediction is that the Pellegrini character will ultimately get caught. I feel like it will be a long 5-episode journey, but ultimately Arsene Diop will be able to incriminate the character for what he's done and all of the evilness that he's done, which would be absolutely brilliant. I feel like the Raoul character will almost lose his life. I feel like we saw him being kidnapped right at the end of the first part, and I feel like there will be a lot of dangerous situations to try to save the Raoul character, but ultimately he will be saved. I feel like the Assane character will be betrayed by either Claire, by Juliet, by his friend, or the police officers. I feel like he'll team up with the police officer that we saw right at the end of the first part, but ultimately one of the characters will betray Assane, unfortunately. I feel like his dad is still alive. We saw the Assane character survive a hanging situation himself in jail, and I feel like the father will also be alive and well by the end of the series, and of course there will be plenty of heists in the second part of the series, which will be absolutely brilliant, and I already cannot wait to see what's going to happen in the second part in the summer. So overall, I'm sure you can tell I absolutely love Lupin. I thought it was a brilliant standout series. Every single episode was super engaging. The style was definitely consistent throughout. Loads of brilliant fun adventures for this character, and the wider mystery and the wider storyline and the wider characters are all super engaging. I do still think the first episode was definitely the best of the set, but that being said, like I said before, this series was absolutely brilliant, and so for all of those reasons, I have to give Lupin a solid 7.5 out of 10. I'd love to hear what you think, so please let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.